Alright, I hope you're hot and ready because we are in. Let me just boot everything up here and we'll get started. Down Periscope. Alright. Very nice, very nice. Just get everything turned on here. Everything seems to be working. Yes, very nice. All right, we seem to be online. As you can see, this show is powered by simulated Greeks. You might be thinking, what is this bullshit off to the side here, this elaborate nonsense? Well, this thing serves several functions. It'll keep you ADD psychopaths distracted while we get through this video. It also serves several other functions, which will remain mysterious for now. Let's just say that these screens here are going to be utilized in the future. I'm also, as you can see, I'm gathering data. I'm crunching numbers and coming to conclusions based on those numbers. And we're getting readings. Compiling data, basically. And that guy down the bottom there, the robot guy, that's Pet Man. Everyone's gonna get to know him a lot better in the future, I'm sure. And there we are. So what else do I have here? So yes, I'm using a new program. I'll probably be pretty boomer tech for a while, so bear with me. But so far, we haven't blown anything up. Yes. Alright. Set the scene. This is home base. This is a good starting point for things to come for the future. This is a good starting point. This is our home base. Okay, so this channel marks a new era. I've got a new program. Everything is taking a different direction, and this is because of realizations that I've had recently. Doing a lot of thinking and a lot less listening to people than usual, and I realize most people seem to be heading in a different direction to what I see, and people seem to be stuck on ideas that I think are stale and old and just wrong in many cases. And as I look to all the spokesmen out there in the world, I don't really find anyone that I agree with 100%. Not that I would expect to, but I feel a need to reject what most people are saying, because I think people have no fucking idea what they're talking about, with a few exceptions. I think one person who's thought it through is Varg, someone who has thought it through honestly and reached honest conclusions, where he sees no future in the system at all, so he has tried to devise how he would live outside of it. And pretty much the only way that you could possibly do that is to become autonomous. So I think Varg is someone who's thought it through to the end, and it makes sense. Most other people are about halfway in, and it's obvious when you break down what they believe. So basically, a lot of people have ideas about what they think the future will be like, and I feel I'm rather isolated in this in this particular train of thought. I think it was easy to live in some kind of denial several years ago, but I find a lot of that stuff completely intolerable now, and I have reached the end of the road regarding any hope of the future of our civilization. So I think there are a lot of people out there giving people false hope, not being realistic, and a lot of other people who are just dumb. And that's probably more common than anything else. It's just dumb motherfuckers who think that they can think. I'm not saying I'm not smart, but you don't have to be smart when you're surrounded by stupid to see a little bit more than the average person. And so some people suggest we're heading for the total collapse of civilization, right? And so we're going to have to find ways to survive after everything collapses, and there'll be a mad rush for shelter and food, and a lot of people die, and those who have survival skills and such, who can form communities, will survive. Everyone else will die. That seems possible, but I don't buy into that as being the future. There are other people who think civilization can be saved through political means. I think that looks like the most unlikely option. I think I'm not even willing to entertain that for a second. To me, no fucking way. Politics is completely impossible to turn around in its current state. If some huge populist uprising happened, then maybe, but does it look like that's going to happen? Or does it look like if that did happen, they'd be able to do anything anyway? It doesn't look like it to me. Other people say people are largely going to be this transhumanist thing, that humanity 2.0, that humans are largely going to be a thing of the past, and in the future we have like human 2.0 with no with sort of a new programmed NPC kind of human that's only half alive. And I think actually the most likely option, the most likely outcome for the future, is that this New World Order thing is going to happen. I'd say that it is happening, and that a lot of people just aren't really willing to accept that yet, or acknowledge it. That they're sort of talking about things that I realize now that are sort of in past tense, talking about things that used to exist, that used to fucking matter, that are now irrelevant, or things have moved on. And I think the world is moving in a direction that everyone's talking as if it's not, as if there's some chance we're going to turn the ship around, when it's full fucking steam ahead with basically no resistance at all. So yeah, what do I expect over the next 5 years? I expect more of the same. I expect more steps towards this New World Order, less power for everyone else, more multiculturalism, and just more of the same. And I think there's almost nothing that can be done about that, which is why people like Varg make a lot of sense. Because what exactly the fuck are you going to do if this system gets completely locked down? Now, I believe the New World Order is essentially the vast majority of the world living in a kind of digital slavery where their life is run through their phone and everything is done through an ID system, that if you don't behave, your ID system will just get cut off or fucked with in some way. So it'll force people to behave, and it'll force people to do shit they don't want to do to an even greater degree than money already does. I think money is almost not important anymore. I believe money is something of the past, and the powers that be are have perfected their systems now, so that money is, I mean, yeah, it's important to make the system work, but it's the system itself that is more important. And on those fronts, they are winning. And most people are completely unaware of how they're winning. They are, no matter how red-pilled they claim they are, they are not aware of this new world order slipping into their fucking smartphone and taking up more of their time day in and day out, fucking with their dopamine and messing with their creating a system of which they live their life through. And that's the bit people are missing. And that's how they're winning. And they're going to keep winning until people reject that system, and I don't see that happening. So therefore I say they are going to be winning constantly over the next few years. And I'm not willing to put myself through enough denial and bullshit to pretend that's not what I think's going to happen. So I'm not interested in listening to fucking people who are going to fill me up with false hope and crap when everything I see is full steam ahead in one direction. And I mean, I've heard some of these alt-right guys, these fucking stupid cunts, these stupid fucking cunts on YouTube, and they say shit like, we're winning. We're winning. And people listen to that shit. What are we winning, you stupid cunt? Oh man. The next person that tells me we're winning, I'm gonna kick his fucking head straight off his shoulders. We are not winning shit. And if you think we're winning something, fucking tell me what it is, because I'd love to hear it. Anyway, off to a good start. I just have to get that out there. It's on the tip of everyone's fucking tongue, but for some fucking reason it's me who has to say it. Well, there it is. It's almost fucking, it's got to be like less than 10% chance that anything's gonna turn this around. It's a very fucking cunning system, and most people are still fucking oblivious to it. Okay, so let's move on to a new scene. Okay, so I used to talk about other YouTube channels a lot more often on this channel, and I'd like to do that now. So I believe Doomguard has a new channel called Doomguard Never Dies. If I remember, I'll put a link to that channel. I haven't subscribed yet, but I'll head over there and subscribe, and you should do the same. And there's also Cultured Thug. Now he's a guy who keeps getting quite a decent number of subs because he's been around for so long. People tend to know about him, and he has good content because he knows what he's talking about. He's also been around for a while. He's seen it. He's been fooled, and he's learned. And yeah, Cultured Thug is definitely someone worth listening to. Someone whose content I always enjoy, and I always enjoy having a chat with him in the comments. But a good guy, Cultured Thug. And he recently lost his channel, started putting his videos up again, and then lost it again straight away. I'm not sure what's happened after that, but yeah, this is a guy who has been, now that he's been noticed by larger numbers of people, he's going to have a tough time staying on the internet because he has the kind of information the authorities do not want you to hear, that's for sure. Alright. Also, I'd like to mention I'll soon be unleashing my first book upon the world, which is already finished, ready to go, but I'll be releasing that on April Fool's Day. And no, this is not a trick. The significance of April Fool's Day is that it will begin the path of the fool, which is a reference to the tarot. as the fool begins his journey, so I will unleash my first book upon the world on April Fool's Day. Now, I'll just say this book is a book of philosophical one-liners, basically, maxims, aphorisms, proverbs, that sort of thing. And I really like great quotes, and I've got a lot memorized in my head, so I wanted to, well, I didn't want to, but I ended up writing a book of quotes, basically, and there's over 600 philosophical one-liners or maxims within the book, and several of my favorite quotes, and I'll speak more about this in the future. But for now, I just thought I'd mention that it will be coming out, and it will be on April Fool's Day of this year. All right. So, one guy who has been making a lot of sense lately is Roosh V, who I've gotten to like more and more over time, because I think he's realizing more and more how much he fucked up throughout his life, and nothing's like the wisdom of someone who's realized how bad they fucked up and they've seen the errors of their ways. But anyway, I wouldn't promote everything Roosh talks about or everything Roosh is about, but I think Roosh is someone making a lot of sense in the modern day, and he's also fucking hilarious. So I thought I'd just show a clip here. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Alright, I'll just show this clip.
I officially declare myself a boob man. I am now all about the boobs, because being a butt man is just the gateway to homosexual activity. I say no to the back hole. I've never done anal sex in my life, I swear.
Yeah, neither have I.
I've never done it. A couple girls
Never
have
will.
gently inquired if I wanted to. I said, no way.
No.
I know what comes out of that hole, that back hole, because I got a back hole too. It's gross. There's doo-doo there. What, did you use a plunger or whatever, a scrubber to get all the fecal matter there? You didn't do that. So why am I going to put my penis in there? I'm not stupid. I shower every day. I'm clean. Why would I put my penis in a butt? That's crazy. Well, if I was watching anal sex porn all day, maybe I would do it, but I don't.
That sieve is perfect. So I remember, I'll just come back here. Alright, I think that worked. So I remember Roosh was mentioning that scene was perfect, like Lilu from The Fifth Element. It was, and I have to agree, that scene is perfection. I mean, what would you change to make it better? So apparently 5 million homosexuals saw this video because it got picked up by some magazine and they talked about Roosh. But that then led me to this next clip, which I guess I'll just let this one happen, but I will give a warning for this clip. Hang on 1 second. Okay. So, you hear all that noise and shit in the background. Guys always making noise. If you're listening to this, you can hear how much noise you goddamn make. Alright, yes. The video. So, yes, there is a warning attached to this video that this is a bunch of gay gentlemen talking about a video game called Angry Goy. And so I'll just put a warning out there that this video is extremely gay.
We're going to catch you up quickly on some entertainment news.
And I'm back.
First, we want to tell you about some of the things that are going on in entertainment.
This half man on the left.
There's a new killer game called Angry Goy 2. Now, we give you a warning. We're going to show you a preview of this, but
to not look directly
it is
into the
highly
eyes.
disturbing. This is a new video game that you play that you use a flamethrower or a machine gun. Created by Christopher Cantwell. It has become very popular in Gab, which is the alt-right Twitter. Basically, he calls himself the crying Nazi. And before we tell you about it, we want to show you this video. But again, we caution you, this is highly disturbing.
Pretty awesome.
We're clear. Fuck you, Nazi! I'm a journalist. Oh. Racist!
Is this country going to be dominated and run by the white Christians?
Well, as you can see, the game is quite...
Oh, shit.
It's
See, gay Mr. T there. Look at this scene. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I stumbled across this video because of fucking Roosh's thing. I just had to show this. This is Clown World. This is it. This is like... See, there's that little pony, stuffed pony on a table, and this guy in the silver.
It's quite offensive, and it is newsworthy because in entertainment news, because it's getting quite a bit of download play. When you play the game, it is a choice of a machine gun or a flamethrower that kills people, and as you kill...
all right, I can't do it anymore. That's it. We'll bring it back here. Okay. So, then there's that. I just, this is the age we live in, and shit like this happens. Okay. So, I also thought I'd mention about Angry Goy there, because one of my friends mentioned to me that he was a bit suspicious about Angry Goy because it's a game that comes from people who talk to feds and shit like that, and it's this video game that they just give out for free, and you put it onto your computer, right? And I remember the original one was a run in administrator game. So my friend put it to me that he was suspicious about this game, and he was like, is it a backdoor into people's computers, something like that? So I thought, yes, that actually does make a lot of sense. So I thought it would be worth mentioning that people probably do try and do shit like that, and you should be careful about taking free video games and just downloading them and playing them on your important computer. Like, if you didn't think of that, you probably should think of stuff like that now, because stuff like that is happening everywhere. And as you know, there are agents and fucking shills absolutely everywhere, and people are constantly fooled. Even the absolute best of us are fooled. And some people have been fooled just recently, to everyone's surprise. Other people maybe to not so much surprise, but it never ends. And literally most of the people on YouTube are shills, right? Pretty much if they haven't been censored, or they've got lots of subscribers, or they say stuff that you're like, how is this person not being censored? It's because they're almost all bullshit. And most people still don't get that. They still think that some of these people on YouTube are real, or some of these people who have media connections are real. None of them are real. Absolutely none of them. They're all fake. Every single fucking one. That's why a normal person gets like 5,000 subs, and if they say one thing wrong, they just get cut. Right. Another thing I saw on YouTube was some people are not sure whether or not there are bots that operate in YouTube comments and things like that. Well, I saw some particular examples that I think are pretty much undeniable. So we've got one here. We've got Kenneth D. Roden. This video was a fabulous experience. And Eugene Stacy Webster. I am highly recommended this video. Excellent. You know, I mean, they're all clearly generated by people who can't speak English and don't, like, they didn't even bother picking male pictures with male names and vice female with, yes. This is clearly bots. And I think this is good evidence of that. Here's another one. Trisha Curtis redoing his son. This is so good. Alright, so yeah, there's some bots for you. I think bots exist. New, see how that shit in the background? It never ends. It just never ends. Alright, also, yes, I think YouTube might be trolling me. So I went to Burwood the other day, which is a part of Sydney that's been completely overtaken by Chinese people, to the point where there's just Chinese writing everywhere and all ads are in Chinese and stuff like that. But so I went there and I came home, turned on YouTube, and I got this ad. So because I went to Burwood, Google thinks I'm Chinese. Look at this. This is globalism, right? This is what I mean about systems and like everything's very behind the scenes, automatic, and it's algorithms and things. I mean, so to the ad system right now, I'm probably Chinese because I went to Burwood, which is in Australia. So yeah, but so it would seem Google knows Sydney better than the average person in the world. They know where the Chinese people are. Then I got this one, Varg's video with Learn Hebrew at the Rosen School of Hebrew. I mean, this must be trolling. Someone's fucking with you, right? AdSense is extremely accurate, and lots of people talk about this, but their algorithms must be insanely good. They seem to follow you around, and they know what you're thinking before you do. Okay, so also here, I thought this was worth showing. We have Wikipedia article of Arminius. I'm just going a bit further so you can see. So, hang on a second. If you read the bottom paragraph there, during the unification of Germany in the 19th century, Arminius was hailed by German nationalists as a symbol of German unity and freedom. Following World War II, however, Arminius was omitted in big purple letters, redacted, censored. The Germans were brainwashed. Yes, Arminius, one of the greatest heroes of Germany, a war leader who united the German tribes and defeated Rome. Arminius, an absolute legend who everyone should know, was omitted from German textbooks due to his association with militaristic nationalism, and many modern Germans are unaware of his story. By design, actually. The 2000th anniversary of his victory was lightly commemorated in Germany, which has replaced traditional nationalism with an easy-going patriotism that mainly manifests itself at sporting events. Wow. I was quite struck reading that, and I thought that would be a terrible thing to read as if you were a German. It's a terrible thing to read if you're not a German, but I think if you were a German, this is like telling you that we brainwashed you out of your own history, which is pretty bad shit, and no one talks about that stuff these days. No one talks about how the Germans were brainwashed to reject their own heroes. So I say, Germans, you should read about Arminius. The guy was a god, man, and he deserves to be remembered. He deserves to be celebrated, and not lightly commemorated at a fucking sporting event. Okay, I have a red ice clip here. This Trump, hang on, I should share the screen first. Here we are. So this Trump, oh yeah, by the way, if you still think that Trump gives a fuck about anything, do you think he gives a shit about Americans, or he's gonna build a wall, or he ever was, you're totally in denial. It's so fucking obvious that this guy is a puppet. He's got a alien hand up his ass at all times. And he's made that very clear in public over and over and over and over and again. So anyone who doesn't pick up on that is just a fucking idiot, and you're deluding yourself. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So he's talking about his favorite alien friends and the Holocaust. But let me just show you what happens.
Against the Jewish people. With one voice, we must confront this hatred anywhere and everywhere it occurs. More than 7 decades ago, he narrowly survived the Nazi concentration camps. A second Holocaust survivor, who is here tonight, was a prisoner at Dachau. Herman was one of the Americans who helped rescue Joshua from that hell on earth and defeat.
I don't know why it's not pausing there, but I'll just come back to Herman. So we have our 2 Holocaust survivors. If you didn't notice, look over Herman's left shoulder there. A picture says 1,000 words. I don't even know what to say about that, but interesting choice of patterns they have at the whatever room they're in there in America, Congress, something like that. Interesting symbolism they have on the chairs, and an interesting time to show that symbolism. So come back to base. All right. So what are we going to talk about? Here we got aliens. I noticed this emoji the other day and I thought this was fucking great. Aliens. I think this is what I'm going to go with from now on. I like that. I like this emoji. I think this is a way of avoiding censorship to some degree for at least a limited time, until that's made illegal or whatever, punishable by death. But I think alien is a good meme, and I'm gonna go with it. So I don't know if you know this, but most of the world's scriptures, religious scriptures, historical accounts talk about aliens and how aliens came to the world, messed with human DNA, and now they rule us through our ignorance and through our vices. And pretty much every religious scripture has this. Anunnaki, or visitors, greys. There's lots of names for them, reptilians. But pretty much all historical accounts, all ancient accounts say the same thing, that basically we gotta watch out for these aliens. And these aliens have been fucking with us for thousands of years. And I think people need to know more about this alien infestation. And we need to figure out, just like Starship Troopers, how to kill the big grub, how to take out the big grub, and get rid of these little aliens. Because basically we've been completely enslaved for a long time, and I believe that slavery is about to be perfected. Either way, aliens. I think we'll be talking about them more in the future. Now, this leaves us with another interesting clip here. So, Cardinal Pell, the Catholic cardinal, I believe, well, definitely in Australia, I believe Sydney or Melbourne. I don't know, I'm not that filled in. I don't care either. But I remember this guy, Cardinal Pell. He was recently convicted for, showing young boys the grace of God in the way that only a true Catholic knows how. So yeah, he was touching young boys, and he's a cardinal. And somehow people with that much power can get in trouble for stuff like that now. So you'd think the Catholic Church at least, is eating itself alive. And I think it's a non-entity at this point. It's like a dead body with like an alien soul walking around, keeping it moving, but its consciousness is being completely overridden. And now George Pell has been convicted for touching kids, but I remember a clip I saw of this guy many years ago, where I learned that this guy was a pedo, and it seems now the whole world knows, but this clip is now extremely relevant. And I'll just get to this. Oh, hang on. Okay. Right. Where? Yes, I forgot to tell you, this video does come with a Richard Dawkins warning.
The wafer does not become the body of anybody in the English language.
All right, no, I think we've resolved that you both
and
disagree on this point rather substantially. Let's go to our next question, which is from Michael Matty.
Is it okay to tell a child that God doesn't exist?
Good question.
Richard Dawkins.
I think it's okay to tell a child the truth. But I would prefer to encourage a child to make up her own mind and to think about the evidence and to believe things when there is evidence. What I think is not okay, what I think is deeply immoral, is to tell a child that when she dies, if she's not good, she's going to go to hell. That seems to me to be mental child abuse and an utter disgrace.
I remember when I was in England, we were preparing some young English boys. They're from very... preparing them for
Come on.
Yes. Now, what you just saw
when I was in England, we
was
were
real.
preparing some...
So, you see this look? This kind of trying to hide, and then the expose.
young English boys. They're from very...
As the soul. I'm just coming back here. It's the guy on the inside. The guilt on the inside, just like Dostoevsky displayed so well in Crime and Punishment, the guilt on the inside just screaming to get out, like a golem, just tell them, and he can't. The voices in his head get louder and louder, and he just wants to scream out, I'm guilty. So he does it in the form of a Freudian slip. And I see this sort of thing happen all the time. And I just wanted to show this. Now that this guy has been convicted, it's quite plausible that he actually did it. Obviously, I don't know either way, but he was convicted. And I'll never forget this scene. I thought I saw something real. I thought this is not just a coincidence. This guy has a demon inside of him, and it wants to get out.
When I was in England, we were preparing some young English boys. They're from very... preparing them for...
See?
Come on.
Yes, because they laugh at first. You see the laughter at first, but then people realize they've seen something that isn't funny. That this is not... That probably wasn't an accident. I'll just get rid of this. Probably wasn't an accident. That was a look below the surface. That's what you just saw. And yeah, well, now that Pell's been proven guilty, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, new scene. Getting pretty colourful, pretty old school, but retro. That's the word, retro. Okay. We need a better slide. Right. No retro. So now I'm going to talk about the title of this channel, Surviving Globalism. I think this marks my new direction, my new view of how things are going to work out. And I think it's all there in the name. It's all implied in the name that this globalism thing is happening. That it's going to happen. It's happening, and it's going to continue to happen. And I feel my battle, and probably that of a lot of other people's, is more how to survive through this globalism more than how to stop it, because it seems to be coming, and it doesn't look like anything's going to stop it. Not that I can see. A year or two ago, I made a video called Total Aryan Victory, where I talked about what would be necessary to turn this around in any degree. And since I've made that video, I've put a lot of that stuff into practice, trying to improve myself in just about every way that I can, and have been largely successful. But I don't see that happening in the world at all. I see the opposite, and I don't think that's going to change. So what was necessary, what I think would be necessary, I don't think it's going to happen. So therefore, I think we're about to undergo one of the most brutal forms of Darwinism that the world has seen for a long time, where almost the entire world is going to be enslaved under these business systems and these new ways of dealing in business and currency, and everything becoming digitized and centralized, and huge conglomerates, all, things like Amazon selling everything in the world at the lowest prices possible, just cutting out all competition. That's more and more of the future I see. I don't, because it's more efficient. I mean, how can you compete with a machine that's getting faster as it grows? There's no competing with that. Not until someone smashes the machine. So, as Varg says, the ship is sinking, right? So he says, get off the ship and swim back to nature, swim back to what we know, what worked in the past. And yeah, I would say that's a good idea. I would say that makes sense. This is someone who makes sense. And if you did that, you would basically be assured survival, and you would avoid all this slavery and bullshit. So that's pretty much your only option, is to take the Varg method. But I do not believe that the system is going to collapse. So, I mean, Varg thinks there's not enough resources. Piero San Schill thinks there's not enough resources. But no one in business believes that. They write articles about it and shit, but everyone is pushing full steam ahead. Like, no one who matters in the world believes it or is doing anything that shows that they believe that this. Everyone is acting like, no, we're going full steam ahead with business as usual with this, and we're going to, improve our systems, get more stock, all this. This is what business is doing, and that's what I'm looking at. I don't see this ship slowing down at all. In fact, I think we're getting onto a new ship. That's what's happening. The old world is fucking over. We're in a transition period out of it into the new one, which is where an Indian guy who doesn't speak English gets hired over you in your own city on a smartphone, and he's now working in your job because of systems, and it's been simplified. And not only that, he'll actually do all the paperwork for his boss on his phone, and he won't get paid for it. That's the world we're heading for. The world of the working poor. Yeah. Where everyone is in a service job. Also, there'll be AI. So, yeah, I mean, everything's there. 3D printing, AI, Uber, Google. Need I say more? Okay. Also, I think anyone who calls himself alt-right, like, I told people that was a bad name like 2 fucking years ago, and I remember everyone in my closer circles on YouTube was already there. You guys already knew that it was like a fake movement. Most people got that. Anyone who's like clinging onto it now is like a fucking moron. You've like clearly, like, it's been and gone. And anyone who wasn't sure what it was a fake movement to waste people's time, inject agents into the movement, create lots of division, shit like that. Basically it was all bullshit. And anyone who's still around from the alt-right, they're all fake, right? There's no real part of it. Sometimes it looks real to some people, and yeah, some people got fooled. Like some people are fools, but they're fools, so what can you say about that? A lot of people were onto this from the start or just after the start, but now it's just like, look, at the very least, the alt-right was a bad marketing campaign, and people treated the term like it was toxic. That's because it was. People didn't know how to explain why, but it was fake, right? It was pushed, it was created, it didn't work. Something else is going to come. And I remember I said the term dissonant right, that's the term that's going to be used, right? And that's the term everyone wants to fucking use now. So, I do have my finger on the pulse to some degree. I think I have a good track record. And also pointing out shills from the past, right? I mean, a lot of those people that I talked about, they're all gone, right? They all got chased out. But yeah, Anyway, I think like that alt-right shit and that spreading false hope and your fucking bullshit rhetoric, your just nonsense rhetoric, like we're winning. It's just like how that shit still exists. I have no fucking idea. So the two most likely directions for the future are the shit hits the fan scenario. Right? Survivalists. Most people just fucking perish because of lack of food and their dependence on the system. There is another version though, which is this human 2.0 cyberpunk futurism, and this is what I'm hitching my wagon to. I believe the New World Order is going to be successful throughout my lifetime. I believe in the long run that, as Michael Tsarion has said, evil contains the seeds of its own destruction. As Varg has said, greed has no end. The need for control has no end. These people just go until they burn the fucking wheels off the wagon. And that's what they're going to do, I think. But I think things are so good, and these systems they have in place are so intelligent and so easy to use, that this system is going to keep going for quite a long time. I could see it going for decades, or never collapsing, like within our lifetime. I could see that, no problem. I don't have any problem with them creating resources that we don't know about now, or that people have miscalculated the resources. They find new resources, they find new methods. This system collapsing thing, I'll believe it when I see it, but I will not fucking depend on it. And nothing in the business world shows me that that's what business, that's what people whose decisions actually matter. They don't think it's gonna happen. There's no talk of it. There's no movements like, oh shit, we better fucking ring this in or stop. No, it's full steam ahead. I think another thing that we're starting to see and we're going to see is the hostile and organized takeover of white businesses. And this is going to create an interesting paradigm, because this is where people who actually have power are having resources taken from them. So something could happen there, but I think that's what we're going to start seeing now. And this is going to be done under the guise of racism, inequality, and people selling sort of more European artifacts are going to be called into question as to whether or not they're a racist or whatever. And yeah, I think this is already beginning. I've heard word of this. I heard the guy from Elegy Records, who has European symbolism on his record covers, and he has National Socialist bands under his label, that I believe he just got shut down. And this is going to start happening a lot, because what white people don't understand is that all the other groups still want to win. Just because you gave them a seat at the table doesn't mean they don't want to take all of your seats at the table, you fucking idiot. And why you didn't know that already, I have no idea. But yeah, no one wants to share their seat at the table except stupid white people. So maybe you should get over that, because you're just a sucker if you share your seat at the table. You're a sucker. And you'll get what you deserve. So I think this is going to be achieved through these new business systems. I've been looking a lot into this lately, and I mean, we all know how Uber works, right? So Uber is not even a business. All Uber is, on paper and according to the law, is a software program. These contracts that are made now are made between the driver and the passenger directly. Google stays out of it. They just get paid and provide the software and all this. But this is what we are. Business just got smarter. Business leveled up. It has evolved in the last decade. and I think it's going to continue to do so. It's getting smarter systems that can include more people under the one umbrella and get the employees and the customers to do almost all the work for the company. It's a new system of business where businesses hand all the work on to you and they basically just collect the pay and keep the system up. And as AI and 3D printing come out into this will grow exponentially, where lots of labor will be able to be achieved without hiring a single person. I also see, as I've been listening to what people say in the world of business, what I've noticed is that a lot of people in business are teaching spiritual practices and occultism and levels of alchemy that used to be reserved for basically high priests and their apprentices. So I'm actually hearing more spiritual dialogue and more valid, useful teachings in the world of business. And I see more use of high-level occultism in the world of business than I see in actual spiritual groups and spiritual channels and whatever. So the world of business is so far ahead of most other groups. I can't think of the right word. Business is so far ahead of most other categories in the world in terms of these spiritual teachings and what they know about psychology and basically all the knowledge that would give you an edge over other people in this world and an edge over improving yourself, your cognition and your understanding. And I find it strange. Well, I guess I don't find it strange, but I see the highest levels of understanding and teaching in these spiritual areas in business. And the general populace outside of business have been largely separated from spirituality and teachings, or the teachings they get are just rubbish. They're nonsense. They're not the level that these people are getting in business. And so that's where I see the spearhead of the future. That's where the best quality people seem to be, and that's the driving force behind globalism is systems and refining them. So basically, I have kind of it sounds like a pessimistic view of the future, but I'm not pessimistic at all. I feel like this is something, because I have realized I have a better view of what I think is going to happen. I have a better, therefore I'm in a better position to know what to do about it. And I think things like trying to fucking join movements that are going to try and do something in politics is a complete fucking waste of my time. I think most people are going to become just total slaves with no chance of making a good income, no chance of owning shit. You're just going to be surviving and being pushed around by your fucking smartphone or some crap. And yeah, I think service jobs are going to go through the roof. And unless you want to basically tickle someone's balls or massage them or some shit, you're not going to make any money. Or deliver people's food or some shit. I mean, look at Uber Eats, right? Yeah, we're all concerned about health, but we've got this company that delivers food to fat cunts 24 hours a day. Yeah, sure. So, yeah. I'm basically going to be here making content. That's what I am here for, is to write, to make videos, to make music, to make art, things like this. And if I saw a movement worth joining, some guy wanted me to join his little club the other day. We don't have time for fucking socializing and bullshit. Everyone who doesn't level up and figure out how to get through the next little while is going to end up in one of these slave jobs with no fucking way out. So people who want to take the Varg method and opt out and learn how to survive without a job or something like that, all the power to you. I mean, how can you wrong that? Obviously, these people will be fine unless they are attacked or, some military move is made on these people, but that doesn't seem likely to me. I think largely people who opt out of the system will be left alone. So I think it's an idea that does make sense. People mock it, but what the fuck are you gonna do, huh? So you mock people who know how to survive. What exactly are you gonna do? Fucking nothing. You're gonna suck it. That's what you're gonna do. So that's my plan for the future, is while everyone's getting enslaved around me, living in denial, pretending shit's gonna happen that has no chance of happening, and all this other crap, focusing on shit that doesn't matter, looking at stuff that's going nowhere. The important thing here is how to survive without becoming a slave, how to either keep your head above water or how to get the fuck onto a new island with Varg and all of his pagan friends, because there's almost no fucking chance that this is not going to happen. There's just too much momentum behind this globalism. And this leaves me to where I'm at. And I've had to battle with this shit my whole fucking life. When I left school, I got the best job I could, extremely high paying job that was impossible to lose, and with a big company that wasn't going out of business. So I got the jackpot. Well, I did the work that I needed to do to get the job. Got the job. Something like 40 people out of 3,000 people. So, I did what I was supposed to do there. But it wasn't long before I felt completely cheated, and I realized that I lived in a system that was all about slavery. It was about getting people to do shit they don't want to do, and then taking a large portion of their money straight out of their pocket. And to me, this was all obvious, and I deeply resented the system. I quit my fucking job, and I just gave up on it all completely. I saw everyone as slaves, and I just can't. To me, money is just a carrot being dangled in front of your head, and it insults my intelligence. I just look at it like, I don't want the fucking carrot. Fuck you. But everyone wants the carrot. Everyone thinks the carrot's real. And I've had to live with this shit my whole fucking life. So we're getting to a point now where I always saw this as freedom versus enterprise. You can't have both. You join the system in the business world, you cannot be free. You stay outside of it, at least you have a chance. But I'm reaching a point now where I feel like there's no freedom either way. And that freedom is maybe in the modern world is something a little bit more complicated than this. And we're going to have to become a little bit more Machiavellian. And I'm going to have to get over these pure thoughts and realize that we're in a deeply fucked situation here. And those who don't start making big moves are just going to get made irrelevant the same way that Darwin demands. And you're going to be one of these poor cunts on the side of the road with someone's food on your back and a never-ending phone call to deliver more shit. Right, so I think in the future I would like to talk a lot more about my understanding of economics and why I think people's attitude towards money, as well as my own, is only going to retard them, and that we need a smarter, more realistic view of exactly what economics is and how it works, And I want to talk about, like, people like Varg are very adamant about people asking for money and the e-bagging and shit, but at the same time he has AdSense on his videos and sells books through Amazon. And, you know, like, there's a lot of fucking grey area here, and I want to clear things up a bit. There's a lot of fuzz, there's a lot of opinions, and I would like to take the emotion out of it and just talk about cold hard facts and how your emotions don't fucking matter when it comes to this shit, and we should all start realizing that. But that is something for a future video. Right, so I'll just mention again before we get out of here that I do have a book coming out. It's a book of philosophical one-liners, maxims, aphorisms, quotes, and it will be out April Fool's Day. I would recommend the book to absolutely everyone who came over to this channel. Anyone who switched over to this channel, you're clearly one of the true friends of this channel, and I would suggest this book to absolutely everyone. There will be pre-orders available through Kindle, but I would suggest you get the physical book. It was certainly intended as a physical book. Anyway, I'll talk about this more in the future. I will play us out with a musical number. Let me just set that up. Alright, I think I did everything right there. Okay. So, we're about to get out of here, but I'll leave you now with the musical stylings of Gerard Schossman.